Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is from the CBN. I'm William Misi Dada. In lending agreement, collateral is a borrower's pledge of specific property to lender to secure repayment of loan. Obvious forms of collateral include houses, cars, stocks, bonds, and cash, all things that are readily convertible into cash to repay the loan. Some of those assets are hard, such as houses and automobiles. Others are paper, such as stocks and bonds. We'll be talking some more about collateral today on the program. But first, let's bring you some top stories from the Central Bank of Nigeria this week. The Central Bank of Nigeria has released guidelines for the operation of the private sector-led Accelerated Agricultural Development Scheme (PADS) to facilitate increased private sector agricultural production of staple foods and industrial raw materials. The Director, CBN Development Finance Department, Mr. Yela Yusuf, said the scheme will be funded from the Anchor Borrowers Program. Maximum loan accessible under the scheme is pegged at 2 billion naira per obligor, with an all-inclusive interest rate of 5% up to February next year. Insufficient power supply, unfavorable political climate, insufficient demand, and lack of equipment were some of the factors identified as having inhibited business activities in Nigeria last month. This was contained in the October Business Expectation Survey report by the Statistics Department of the Central Bank. In the report of the survey conducted online, respondents expect the average inflation rate in the next 6 months to stand at 13.30%, but expect a favorable business outlook for this month and the next. Finals of the CBN 2020 Senior Open Tennis Championship hold on Saturday, November 14th, at the tennis complex of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Acting Director, CBN Corporate Communications Department, Mr. Osita Onwanisobi, says the bank remains committed to ensuring that young talents are given a veritable platform to represent the nation at international tennis tournaments. Winners in the men's and women's singles categories will take home 700,000 naira each, while runners-up will receive 350,000 naira each. Thank you for staying tuned. In less traditional form of collateral, an asset is defined as anything that has commercial or exchange value owned by a business, institution, or individual. Anything that has revenue or potential for future earnings stream can be used as collateral. This includes contracts for purchase or purchase order, loans made to other people, either simple account receivable or formalized promissory note, as well as future earning power of an organization or individual. Other items that are being used as collateral include watches, jewelry, art collections, computers, vehicles, tools and machineries, inventories, intellectual property, among others. And those items are generally referred to as movable assets. And we'll focus more on that today. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria and International Finance Corporation, an arm of the World Bank, established the National Collateral Registry, backed by the Secured Transactions in Movable Assets Collateral Registry Act of 2017. The aim was to provide for the registration and regulation of security interests in movable assets, thereby stimulating and facilitating access to credits secured with movable assets. The Collateral Registry is a web-based system which allows lenders to determine prior security interest over movable assets pledged as collateral. It's interesting that one's material possessions and work tools and equipment can be used to secure bank credits. But how many business owners are aware and willing to take advantage of that? We went to town to find out.
I took a loan once with Diamond Bank, Access Bank now. What they did is to send someone to evaluate our products. They went through our books. They saw that we already banked with them in Access Diamond Bank. Then when they had the value of our stock, They were able to tell us what credits we are worth by our daily sales and by the total value of our stuff. I think another thing they look at is your account balance because they didn't ask me to bring any like land. It's a micro credit. It's not a huge credit. So maybe if it's a huge credit, then they will need the collateral. They must have seen that in our account balance was able to accommodate some of, and then by our daily sales record, I think they worked on that. So it depends on the amount of credits you're asking for. I don't know about any other one, but for microcredit, they didn't ask for any collateral. Your account officer will work what you have based on your daily sales record.
If you want to collect money from bank, firstly, depend the amount you want to collect before they ask you collateral. First of all, if you are collecting like something millions from bank, first of all, you have to have a land as a collateral and other things. Maybe you want something thousands, you can use fan, you can use your generator as a collateral. Understand? So it depends the amount that you want from them, determine the collateral they will require from you.
I have assets, like I mentioned, some information.
A bank would require for a house, land, properties to give me a loan.
Of course, you need loan to expand. You can't base on what you have. If you have a loan, then you can expand faster. You can buy more, and then hopefully as you sell, you pay back.
Of course, if I have the opportunity and if I see someone that can assist me to do the necessary, to do the procedure of it, I will go straight. Because it's to me to forward my business. It's good for me.
And now I'll need up to 1 million naira.
It's fine. I would really, really appreciate that. I'll be glad. But it doesn't work like that in Nigeria. I don't know, maybe now. But
Interesting. 3 out of 4, representing 75% of the business owners that we spoke with, are aware that they can obtain bank credits using movable assets as collateral. All 4 of them, representing 100% of the business owners, would like to take advantage of bank credits to grow their businesses. That's great. Awesome. Because small businesses are the backbone of the economy. And there is more from the CBN after this break.
Nigeria is a rich nation of green land, rich resources, countless crops and commodities sufficient to feed and provide a means of livelihood for her teeming population. Chin up, Nigeria, the giant of Africa. Exciting times are here. We can be self-reliant and grow our economy if we work together to explore our potential. It takes a whole nation. Let us get involved. Buy Nigerian to grow Nigeria.
Glad to have you back. The Central Bank of Nigeria from time to time engages key players in the banking sector, the judiciary, and others that are critical to the success of secured transaction in movable assets. One of such engagements was a workshop which held a fortnight ago in Abuja. We have details in this report.
Confidence of the judiciary is necessary for Nigeria to successfully unlock the opportunities of private enterprises in accessing finance, making use of movable assets as collateral. World Bank Group Country Director, Mr. Shubham Choudhury, offered the opinion at this two-day workshop organized by the Central Bank of Nigeria in conjunction with the National Judicial Institute, the World Bank Group, and the United Kingdom's Department for International Development in Abuja. The workshop is intended to educate judicial officers on secure transactions in movable asset (STMA) and Credit Reporting Act (CRA) reforms in Nigeria and to strengthen the adjudication over them. The Chief Justice of Nigeria and Chairman, Board of Governors, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, says credit reporting reforms in the country requires special attention from the judiciary. He calls for a quick dispensation of justice in commercial transactions to benefit the economy. Governor of the Central Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, is represented here by Director Development Finance Department, Engineer Philip Yela Yusuf. He says the spirit of both SCMA and CRA 2017 legislation was to de-risk lending to micro, small, and medium enterprises, adding that the application might be subject to divergent interpretations. Mr. Emefiele says a total of 694 financial institutions have so far registered with the National Collateral Registry as at September ending, an indication of an agreement with provision of the registry.
As at 30th of September 2020, a total of 694 financial institutions comprising 22 deposit money banks, 4 merchant banks, 5 development finance institutions, 580 microfinance banks, 37 non-bank financial institutions, 43 finance companies, 1 primary mortgage bank, and 2 non-interest financial institutions have all registered on the NCR portal. This is the first step towards buying to the registry's operations. Based on a total of 113,000 financing statements registered on the registry in respect of movable assets offered as collateral, lending banks have availed credit amounting to over 1.8 trillion naira, 1.36 billion US dollars, 10.92 million euros to over 270,000 borrowers, comprising 262,000 individuals, 1,400 large, 4,200 medium, 1,400 micro, and 3,400 small businesses.
Registrar of the National Collateral Registry lists effort by the registry as ensuring the smooth working of the agency and encourages small business owners and financial institutions to take advantage of the non-traditional collateral option.
There are several ways you can reach us. Our website is www.ncr.gov.ng. You can send us emails on ncr@cbn.gov.ng. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. Thank you for your rapt attention. Thank you very much.
Barring any unforeseen circumstance, the November meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria will hold on the 23rd. But for now, let's take you through the highlights of the last one that held in September.
The Monetary Policy Committee met on Monday 21st and Tuesday 22nd September 2020 in the light of lingering uncertainties associated with the COVID-19 pandemic and downturn in crude oil prices. These uncertainties, which centered primarily on the pandemic, will be fully subdued and the oil market return to normalcy, have resulted in persistent weak aggregate demand, disruptions in global supply chains, mixed price development, volatile and downward trending oil prices, as well as rising unemployment. The committee reviewed these developments and assessed their impact on the domestic economy in the first 3 quarters of 2020 and noted the outlook for the rest of the year. The NBC observed the huge injection of monetary and fiscal stimulus into the global economy, noting its medium-term inflationary potential. In major advanced economies, inflation mostly remained below their 2.0% long-run objectives as the recovery of both global aggregate demand and supply remained stalled. Across the group of emerging markets and developing economies, price development remained mixed, reflecting the diverse structure of these economies. The exchange rates of EMDs continued to be under pressure as global capital flows were subdued, reflecting investors' preference for gold as a safe haven. With the unprecedented and coordinated injection of liquidity by central banks and fiscal authorities globally, the risk of another financial crisis post-COVID-19 can no longer be overlooked, as this may likely crystallize into a double-digit global recession when central banks across the globe move to normalize monetary policy. The MPC noted the continued weakness in economic activities as indicated by the manufacturing and non-manufacturing purchasing managers indices, which remain below the 50 index points benchmark. In August 2020, manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMIs were 48.5 and 44.3 index points, respectively, compared with 42.4 and 43.3 index points in July 2020. This was attributed to slower growth in production, business activities, new orders, supply delivery time, employment level, new export orders, and raw materials and input prices. Similarly, the employment level index component of the manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMIs in August 2020 were 44.6 and 44.3 index points respectively, compared with 40 and 41.1 index points in July 2020. The committee was, however, optimistic that with the easing of the lockdown and gradual resumption of economic activities, the PMIs will improve in the short to medium term. Committee expressed deep concern on the continued uptick in inflation for the 12th consecutive month, as headline inflation year-on-year rose to 13.22% in August 2020 from 12.82% in July 2020. The increase in headline inflation was likely driven by the persistent increase in the food component, which rose to 16% in August 2020 from 15.48% in July 2020. The core component also rose to 10.52% in August from 10.1% in July 2020. These upticks were driven primarily by legacy structural factors such as the inadequate state of critical infrastructure and broad-based security challenges across the country, which dampened production activities. Other factors include the disruption of supply chains following restrictions to movement to curb the spread of the pandemic, adverse weather conditions, which resulted in flooding of farmlands, as well as the inflation passed through to domestic prices following the depreciation in the exchange rate. The recent increase in energy costs is also expected to further impact the domestic price levels in the short term. Committee therefore stressed the urgent need for a combination of broad-based monetary and fiscal policy measures to curb the rise in inflation and contraction in output growth. This will involve targeted investments by the fiscal authorities to resuscitate critical infrastructure to improve the ease of doing business across the country. In addition, MPC believes the fiscal authorities can build on earlier efforts and articulate a clear strategy to attract private sector investment. The bank will, however, continue to take relevant steps to ensure that the detrimental risk of inflation to the economy is contained. Committee noted the various interventions by the CBN to reflect the economy, improve aggregate supply, and drive down inflation. Recent interventions were largely in the areas of manufacturing, agriculture, electricity and gas, solar power and housing constructions, among others. It expressed optimism that these initiatives will significantly ease the adverse impact of COVID-19 pandemic and set the economy on a path of recovery. So far, total disbursements from the bank's interventions in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic amounts to 3.5 trillion, including real sector funds, about where 216.87 billion has been disbursed, COVID-19 targeted credit facility, where 73.69 billion has been disbursed, agric and a small medium enterprise AXMIS fund, where 54.6 billion has been disbursed, healthcare and pharmaceutical support fund, where 44.47 billion has been disbursed, and the creative industry financing initiative to the youths, where 2.93 billion has also been disbursed. Under the real sector funds, a total of 87 projects that include 53 manufacturing companies, 21 agri companies, 13 service projects were funded. In the healthcare sector, 41 projects, which include 16 pharmaceutical companies and 25 hospitals and healthcare services, were funded. Under the targeted credit facility, 120,074 applicants have received financial support for investment capital. As regards the agricultural and small and medium equity investment scheme intervention is concerned, we have so far extended a total of 14,638 applicants, while 250 small and medium enterprises, businesses, predominantly the youth, have been benefited from our creative industry financing initiative. In addition to these initiatives, the CBN is set to contribute over 1.8 trillion naira of the total sum of 2.3 trillion naira needed for the federal government's one-year economic sustainability plan through its various financing interventions using the channels of participating financial institutions. The MPC is thus using this medium to appeal to our important economic stakeholders to take advantage of these intervention initiatives to help support a quick rebound in growth and the Nigerian economy.
Aha, you want to call the number? Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, 0.
No, now. Stop it.
What? I'll call you back. What?
Stop writing on the naira.
It's just 500 naira.
No matter the denomination, the naira is not a sheet of paper to be written on or crumpled. It is Nigeria's legal tender currency. The naira should not be abused by being sprayed or danced on at parties. The naira is not a shelf item to be sold or bought along the road or at social events.
So how will I celebrate with people when I go for their parties?
You can simply put your monetary gifts inside envelopes and present to the celebrants.
If I choose to spray and
you could go to jail for 6 months or pay a fine of 50,000 naira or both.
For real?
I
didn't know that.
Now you know. Spread the message. The naira is a symbol of our national identity. Let's safeguard its integrity. Don't abuse the naira.
This message is from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN.
And with that, it's a wrap on today's package from the CBN. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Send in your comments and inquiries using our email address and visit the website of the Central Bank of Nigeria for more information, as well as their contact center for your complaints. Thanks for your time. I'm Liemisi Dada. Stay safe and bye for now.